rules are putting thousands of green card holders at risk of deportation in 2025. What was once a promise of security is now becoming a gamble, and many families don't even realize the danger yet. This is Immiscope, your trusted source for U.S. immigration news, policy changes, and visa updates. For decades, the green card symbolized stability, a safe path to permanent residency, work, and eventually citizenship. But in 2025, that sense of safety is eroding. Policies under the Trump administration are rewriting how permanent residency works, expanding deportation risks, and reshaping daily life for immigrants. If you're a green card holder or know someone who is, stay with me. The consequences of these changes could affect your status, your family, and even your future in the United States. Deportation risks expanded. Traditionally, permanent residents face deportation only in extreme cases, serious crimes, repeated violations, or fraud. But now, that boundary is collapsing. For the first time, green card holders are being placed into expedited removal. This means immigration officers can issue removal orders without a full court hearing. Life-changing decisions are now being made instantly, often discovered during routine check-ins or appointments. Here's what's different in 2025. No full hearings. Officers can decide removals on the spot. Routine visits turn risky. Even standard appointments can trigger detention. Fewer protections. The legal safety once tied to a green card is disappearing. Immigration attorneys confirm cases where residents only learned of a removal order when they were unexpectedly detained. The protection once tied to a green card is evaporating. Detention without conviction. Another dramatic shift comes from the LAC and Riley Act. This legislation introduced mandatory detention for permanent residents who are charged but not convicted of certain offenses. Imagine being accused of something minor, with no proof, yet still losing your freedom. The law eliminates many bond options, meaning individuals can spend months in custody while cases drag on. Even if charges are later dismissed, deportation proceedings may still continue. For families, this often means sudden separations, with spouses and children left in shock. Advocates argue that punishing people before guilt is proven undermines fundamental rights, yet the policy continues to expand. Ideological vetting and social media scrutiny. Perhaps the most controversial development of 2025 is ideological vetting. For the first time, immigration officers are being asked to evaluate residents' beliefs, affiliations, and digital activity. That includes past social media posts and comments, group memberships and protest participation, even old retweets or Facebook memories. Critical opinions about U.S. policy could be flagged as disloyal. A student activist who once attended a protest may now face questions about allegiance. Even a sarcastic post from years ago could be interpreted as anti-American. Because the rules are vague, officers have wide discretion. The result? Many residents are deleting old accounts or avoiding public discussion altogether. Critics say this silences free expression and creates fear of speaking freely. Retroactive enforcement, old cases reopened. Equally troubling is the trend of reopening old cases that were once considered resolved. Past errors, a missed address update, a minor misdemeanor, even a forgotten signature are being reinterpreted as violations. Green card holders are receiving unexpected notices of review, sometimes a decade after the original event. What was once forgiven is now being weaponized against residents. For families, it feels like the rules of the game are changing overnight. Real-life impacts on families. These changes are not theoretical. They are already reshaping immigrant communities. A father who paid taxes for 15 years now faces deportation because of a paperwork error during a move. A mother applying for citizenship was placed into removal proceedings for forgetting to attach a supporting document. A young man whose old arrest was dismissed is now detained while his case is reopened. The ripple effects are devastating. Children are left without parents. Homes and businesses are abandoned. Entire communities feel the strain. Daily life now carries an underlying sense of fear. Fear as a policy tool. Advocates argue that fear itself has become the government's most effective tool. Permanent residents hesitate to apply for citizenship. Renew their green cards. Correct mistakes in their files. Why? Because every interaction with USCIS could now trigger scrutiny. A process once seen as routine has become a risk in itself. Even something as simple as updating an address can feel dangerous. Families wonder, will this alert officers to check my past paperwork? Could it reopen an old case I thought was closed? This fear discourages immigrants from engaging with the system. By stepping back and avoiding official contact, enforcement becomes easier. The government doesn't need to chase people if those people stop showing up voluntarily. The effects reach beyond paperwork. Parents hesitate to attend school events, fearing visibility. Workers avoid leadership roles in their jobs. Community events see lower turnout. A culture of silence and withdrawal spreads, reshaping neighborhoods. Fear is not written into the law books, yet it functions like a powerful policy. It quietly changes behavior, isolates families, and weakens the very communities that once thrived with participation. What green card holders should do. So how can permanent residents protect themselves in this environment? No strategy offers complete safety. But experts recommend several practical steps. To keep records current. Report every address change, job update, or move immediately. Small lapses now carry serious risks. Resolve all legal matters promptly. Even unpaid traffic tickets can become grounds for detention. Review your digital footprint. Clean up old posts and think carefully about new ones. Seek legal advice early. An immigration attorney can help identify hidden risks, especially for those with past arrests or complex histories. While these steps cannot guarantee protection, they reduce unnecessary exposure to a system that has become increasingly unforgiving. Looking ahead, an uncertain future. Legal battles are already underway. Civil rights groups are challenging expedited removal, ideological vetting, and mandatory detention. They argue these policies violate constitutional protections like due process and free speech. But until courts issue rulings, the policies remain in effect. Families live in limbo, uncertain whether the rules will tighten further or eventually be struck down. The question is clear: will judges step in to protect lawful permanent residents, or will enforcement-first policies continue unchecked? For now, uncertainty defines the immigrant experience in 2025. A green card that once meant safety now feels like a gamble. For green card holders, the ground is shifting beneath their feet. A document once seen as permanent is now surrounded by fear and risk. The lesson is clear: preparation is more important than ever. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching Immiscope. See you in the next video.